Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out the GitGud Course. Instead of just understanding concepts, you'll learn how to implement them directly into your driving. What makes it effective is the approach and practical drills. Together, we're gonna focus on breaking down those complex concepts into small digestible bits that are simple to understand. Everything from the course was tested and refined during the years in coaching sessions, so what I ended up with was the ones that I saw were the most effective. Let's elevate your racing skills together. Now for the track guide. For turn 1, what I'm using as a reference for turn in is the exit road on the left side, right here. Whenever I see this exit road, I'm applying some steering angle, and you don't want to brake into this corner. You want to carry the downforce of the car, so you will have more grip and you will also gain a bit of time on entry. So right now I'm turning, and whenever I'm very close to the curb on the inside, I'm looking at the green part of the curb right now, so whenever I'm close to it, I'm going to apply the brakes. And it's super important to not brake hard here. You want to brake softer, but hold the trail brake all the way to the next curb. So what I'm focusing right now is to not exceed, let's say, 25-30% initial brake pressure, and to try to downshift as quickly as I can. I want to slow the car down with the downshifts rather with the brakes, because whenever you're gonna slow the car with the downshifts, you will have less load on the front tires. So the front tires will have less temperature. That's important because in the next corner, we want to have the front tires alive so that the car will point. If we brake too hard, we will increase the temperature in the front tires, and we don't want that. So apexing around this curb on the inside, not exceeding 30% of brake pressure, and now I'm holding, still trail braking, still braking up until I hit the curb on the left side. Super important to hit it with your left tire. Be mindful though that you can spin the car if you use too much, or if you have too much speed while turning in, so you definitely want to use all the track, but be careful that this is a corner in which you can spin. Now going into the next apex like that, I'm still trailing, still on the brakes, still on the brakes, still on the brakes, and right now I'm putting the power down. If you find yourself that you're going on throttle much earlier than this moment, it just means that you braked way too hard in the beginning, and because you will have an early throttle application, the car will understeer. So we have to time this right to avoid understeer on this exit out of this corner, but also some of the understeer can appear because of tire temperatures. Less brakes so that you'll be later on power. This will give you less tire temperature and also the correct apex point. Now using this curve, and you will use the one on the left side as well, the assist section is all about carrying more speed using the downforce of the car once again. So for this corner, I'm turning with 5th gear and flat out, using this curve and mounting it like that. Now when I'm approaching this curve right here, I'm applying 5% braking. Don't brake more than 10%, is gonna be too much. So 10% at max, just trail braking a bit while still hugging this curb, and it's okay if you end up here to the left side. Just because this car has a lot of downforce, you don't need to over prepare the next corner by being all the way to the right. You can get away with being more on the left because you will carry a lot more speed, and here the momentum is critical. So for the next corner, I'm just touching the brakes. As you can see, it's like 3% braking and then downshifting to 4th gear while taking it. This is giving me the rotation that I want without braking too much. Again, I'm emphasizing you don't want to brake that much because every time you will brake, most of the braking force will be applied on the front tires just because of the brake bias. I go in depth about brake bias in my sim racing course, so feel free to check that out. You will learn a lot, but that's the main reason why I emphasize braking less and doing the downshift so that you will have the temperatures in check. Now going into the next corner, here it's a trick for Suzuka. You want to use the inside curb, the curb on the right side, to put your right tires all the way to the right of the curb. And let me show you. While approaching this corner, I'm just doing a lift with 2% braking. Like right now I'm braking 2%, 2%, 1%, 1%. And while doing so, notice that my right tires are all the way to the right side of the curb. This is gonna help the car turn more. It's gonna give you more rotation because this curb has some texture on it, so that it will make that the car will rotate. You really have to use it. It can gain you like 0.05 consistently, and if you can gain that time in this corner, it's super important, because if you have a bad run out of this corner in a race, someone can overtake you, and also you can overtake someone else before the last corner. If you have a very good run on them with the slipstream and with a good exit out of this, you can really gain positions. Now here, what's important here is to not drop the throttle, or if you do it, to be like 5% but no more. So I'm taking this one flat, 100% flat. This should be the highlight of the corner, 100% flat. You don't want to drop the throttle here. We sacrifice the previous corner so that this one can be flat out. Now moving into the next corner, my braking reference is the 50-meter board. Notice that I brake way too hard into this corner, so I'm losing here a 10.5, something like that. So right now I was gaining 4/10, but look what happened when I'm braking. It goes for 4/10. Oh, actually it's not. It's funny. I thought that this lap was a lot slower with the braking. It must be the other lap that I did. So let's go back to the corner. Braking point is the 50-meter board, and as I was saying, you don't want to brake that hard. If you're gonna brake way too hard, you will lose a lot of time. This corner is all about minimizing the brakes that you will carry into the corner. So at the 50, you're gonna simultaneously brake and turn. You don't want to hit this curb all the way on the right side. You will spin the car. What you want to hit it is in the beginning like that, and once you are at the apex on the curb, you want to be back on throttle instantly. Like right now I'm already back on power, giving it 100%. Don't use all the track here, because the car will bottom out and you can also get the off track. So this, what I'm using right now, it's quite the limit. And for the next corner, I'm braking almost in the middle of the curb. You brake a lot harder than in the first corner for this one. You apex around this curb, so you can mount a bit and barely kiss the green part of the curb like that. And then putting the throttle very early. Now going into the hairpin, what I'm using as a reference for braking is the moment in which the road straightens up, like the white line is straightened. Right now you see this curve, but right now it's straight. Few meters after this, I'm applying the brakes, like right now. So this was a very late braking point. If I remember correctly, I will lock up the tire in this lap. So you don't want to brake that late. Instead, you want to brake a bit earlier. But again, the braking reference will be the moment that the road straightens it up. What I'm using is like few moments afterwards, I'm applying the brakes, but you can be a bit earlier on the brakes, it's gonna be fine. Into this corner, you want to apex around the white line. Don't touch the inside curb. If you will touch the inside curb on the left side, you will lose a lot of time. So apexing around the white line, putting the power down, and use all this curb. Notice that you can spin a lot in this corner. If you get it from a wrong angle, this curb can make you spin. So late apex in the previous corner will do the trick, so you will avoid spinning. Now for the next corner, what I'm using as a reference for braking is the exit road on the right side. Few moments afterwards, I'm applying the brakes. So right now, after I'm not seeing this exit road on the right anymore, I'm applying the brakes. You don't want to brake very hard, so 30% or so. You want to apex around this curb and touch it, and the moment that you touch it, you want to go back on power and hit it 100% throttle. So the rhythm is braking, 100% throttle, hitting the curb on the right, now braking again, trail braking in the corner, and then putting the power down. Notice this hesitation that I had here is not ideal, so ideally it would be brake, 100% throttle, brake again, and again going to 100% without this blimp and throttle. So be mindful of that. Now going into the next corner, you want to stay on the left side and then go diagonally towards the corner. This is the shortest path into this corner. If you're gonna stay all the way to the right, you will be slower with 0.05 or something like that. And for the final corner, heavy braking zone, past the 100, I'm applying the brakes like right now. and I'm braking quite hard initially, and I want to cut a lot this curve. Notice that I'm not cutting a lot, so you want to brake just a bit earlier so that you can cut more. You don't want the car to be more in the left part of the track right now. You want to have it more on the center right, to open up this corner, because this corner leads to a big straight, and you can cut more than what I did here as well. So, but because I had a weird angle, it was difficult for me to do the correct line. So what I'm advising is cut a lot the first curve in the chicane, you will be more on the right side, and then you will be able to cut a lot the second one as well, and then have this good exit. But in short, that's the track guide of Suzuka with Super Formula lights. If you want to see more in-depth concepts, if you like my style and you will want to learn more, I've recently released my course. Feel free to check it out. Good luck this week, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.